If it hurts, you ain't afraid, smoke against you, don't let up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, two games after this win. Press you again, here for the first May. Carry my team every 6 minutes.
Just making sure that the little things are taken care of, like getting our cleats in the dirt and just playing.
What we have to do is make sure that we got our cleats in the ground before the ball is snapped. I think that's the key to the game, and make sure that
just get our cleats in the ground, execute calls, the urgency of communicating and getting lined up.
Yeah, you got to get your cleats in the ground and you got to go play.
And you have to not lose the game before you can ever win the game.
I mean, if you're going to start, I think you start with Dolly Parton. She was on the Howard Stern show yesterday. I called in to a radio show for the first time in my life to try and let her know how much she does for the state of Tennessee. I got rejected. So maybe I'll get to say hello to her in person. The Kansas City Chiefs can have Taylor Swift all they want. We'll take Dolly Parton on Saturday.
Mark Stoops is 2-9 against this team, and to walk around this place before the game, I was disgusted. The smugness of those guys just walking around like, we're going to walk in here, we're going to kick your ass, and you can't do anything about it. And it made me sick. And you know what? They did it. They still did it. What the hell can we not? Can we just beat this team? I know that Mark Stoops has done a lot of good things. This is his one really bad thing. The stupid stat about beating teams with a winning record and taking the next step and blah, blah. Just freaking beat Tennessee. Please, can we just stop losing to this stupid team with their stupid orange color, their stupid
I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive. Black and white headlights pierce, patrols, blazing arrows, burning me to the marrow. But fire brings peace as well as it brings fear. You're the only thing I hear, and I want that. The songs howl like me, poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive. The dogs howl like me, poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit smashed and broken in the sea. When we wake up each cold morning and the birds sing their warning songs.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
And I am Coach Jay.
Man, the season, it's over. It's over. It's hard to believe it's over, man. It comes and it goes so quick, but we're jumping right into transfer portal season. You know, one of these days, man, let's go back to the old school when I did the comic book show, and it was called Comic Cast, and we had like 3 people watching every week. Nobody tuned in, but we did have a Patreon. And one of the things we allow people with Patreon to do is check in live to the pre-show. So what happens behind the scenes? And we have the best conversations in the back room before we go live. That's why I'm late every single time to hit the live button, but that's okay. That's okay. Coach, how you feeling on this Sunday evening?
I feel good. Like I was saying, I was just finishing up rewatching the game, so got that second watch under my belt and feel like I got a good grasp of everything. So and it's good. It's mostly good, you know, other than the defense playing a bit bit flat at times, but certainly a lot to build on there. And I'm super excited about next year. And I was feeling great, and then you threw a grenade into my nice day and told me Dylan Sampson's leaving, and I looked out the window and it started raining, and
Oh,
a little tear went down my little volunteer cheek, and
oh no.
I got worried. No, I feel
Oh.
good, man. I think Samson's gonna stick it out. I think he might be just taking the lead from a one Jalen Wright and maybe going after that bag.
Yeah, that's look. Let's see who's hanging out in the chat. We're gonna open with Dylan Sampson. We're gonna open with transfer portal. Then we're gonna open it up to you guys because this is a fan call-in show. You guys have an opportunity to come on and hang out. Vols fan for life was here bright and early. What's up, my friend? James Bowers is here. Who else is hanging out? David Burgess is here. Raven Gaming is here. Says, "What up, Vol fam?" Hank is in the house. Says, "I'm here. Let's get this thing going." You know, he showed up and he's like, "Okay, Boogie, it's time. Just go live. Go live." So many people, and I feel like Hank. I feel like he's got that kind of weight around here that he can demand to go live. Brad's in the house. Says, "GBO hashtag free Boogie." I was harassing Brad all day. I'm like, "Bro, you got to go take this, copy paste it, put it in the Facebook group, let them know." There was like a 41 comment thread about Dylan Sampson because Donovan was talking about my video. Nope, everybody failed to talk about the video. Nobody promoted the channel whose Facebook group they were there to promote. No, they were all talking about it. And they're like, "Where are you getting this information? This is fake news. Whoever put this out is an idiot." Meanwhile, I'm going, I can't comment on this, and it was driving me nuts. So I put up the bat signal, put Brad to work. Phil Miller is here. What's up, my friend? Cody C. says the cheetah will stay. There's no super chats. There's no door fees. Nobody paid to get in here. Moonshine is upset because I'm not wearing orange. You can't see me from the waist down, bro. You have no idea what kind of pants I'm wearing. You don't know what kind of socks I'm wearing. You have no clue. You have no clue. Mrs. Coach J is here. What's up, Mrs. Coach J? Craig J is here. Guys, smash the thumbs up. Share out the link. Put this thing on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you get social with your media. Let's start with Dylan Sampson, and we're going to put out the link. I'm going to go ahead and put out the link now. Why not? Let's get you guys in here, and you guys can chime in on this as well. The link is out for Talkin VAWLS Elite and Higher. Should I do a brief little recap of what was in the video? Just in case people don't know what I'm talking about. So here's the deal. I saw this pop up on VolQuest. I thought, all right, what are they talking about? Dylan Sampson transfer portal. So you go to Dylan Sampson's Instagram, and here's what started it. Let me click the story first. Take a look at the name of the song. It says, "Hold On, We're Going Home." It's Dylan Sampson, but the picture is black and white. He's not wearing the orange and white. It's black and white. If this was all that was out there, if it was just a song that says, "Hold on, we're going home," I would have said, all right, I'm not making a video. This is not worth talking about. You go to his Instagram bio. You can see there right at the top, God First, Louisiana Made. Louisiana Made. That used to say Vol Football. That was removed from the bio. Why would you remove that from the bio? That's what stood out to me. Why did you go in and remove that from the bio? And then, some of the things, I'm not going to go click on them, but you can go back to his Instagram from earlier in the year after the Florida game. He got 0 carries. What does he do? He goes to Instagram and says, "Caged cheetah. Let the cheetah free." Everybody here was talking about it. We were all talking about it. And then also, something else worth talking about, like Coach Jay mentioned earlier, I mentioned it in my video earlier today. Jalen Wright did this same thing back in January. He went to Twitter. He says it's nothing personal. It's just business. He got a big fat NIL deal shortly thereafter. And look, I got the same hate, the same comments, the same nonsense that I always get because it's YouTube, it's Twitter, it's the internet. I get it. "Oh, this is clickbait. There's nothing here." Really? Because that's what you said about Jalen Wright. And like 2-3 days later, he gets a big fat NIL deal. You don't think there's something to that? Coach, what are your thoughts on this? And we'll add the boys here in just a second.
Yeah, I was kind of alluding to it. I think it's kind of, we're living in a different world. College football is a business now, and Dylan Sampson would be a highly coveted free agent, and he's going to test the market. And from a business standpoint, maybe he should test the market. I don't know if it's what I personally would do, but every man needs to stand on their own and do what they feel is right and make a decision based on what is best for them, their family, and their situation. So I think Dylan is doing a little bit of that. And kind of like I mentioned in the back room, let's say Dylan knows that Small's not coming back. He knows that Wright's not coming back. All of a sudden, you're in a pretty good bargaining position to bargain and get a pretty good NIL deal. So that's kind of how I view it. But we'll see what transpires here. Either way, a lot of young, talented running backs in this system, as we have talked about. So the future is bright, no matter which way we go. But I'm not going to go ahead and panic and run around screaming with my head on fire quite yet.
We'll give a shout out to William Bozarth. Says, I would give a door fee, but I'm a disabled veteran living on $800 a month. William, don't ever feel like you need to give, have to give. Don't feel like you need to be a member. Come hang out, talk Tennessee football with us, and we appreciate your service, brother. So don't you ever feel the pressure to give. I'm going to plug and promote and shield. That's what you do on YouTube, but you're still part of this family. You're still part of the community, so don't you worry about it. Let's get the boys on here, see what they say. Drummer Converse is here. Eric's here. Rocky Top Tom is here. Something that was interesting on VolQuest this weekend also, they said that Josh Heupel is going to be sitting down with all the players, I think, sometime within the next week to start to have those interviews about you should leave, you should stay, COVID years, all those type of conversations. Tom, I'm going to put you on the spot first, man. Did you see the Dylan Samson video? Have you seen the news, or are you flying on this thing blind? So you know what we're talking about. What are your thoughts? Is Boogie full of crap? Am I stirring the pot, or is there a little something there that's worth talking about?
No, you should always check between the lines. That's what burns you if you don't. But no, look, I was actually looking at the depth chart earlier because of your video, Boogie. My heart sank. I'm with you, Coach Jay. He threw a grenade in my foxhole, man. But no, I'm glad you did, because if I hadn't seen that, then I wouldn't have had cause to remember that Cam Seldon is 6'2", 225 pounds. And, yeah. Look, we'd miss Samson if he leaves. Absolutely. We wouldn't have won the Kentucky game without him. But, yeah, we got a decent running back in Cam Seldon backing him up. And if Jalen Wright comes back, even if he doesn't come back, I mean, Jabari Small and Cam Seldon, that sounds like a pretty good backfield.
What happens if Jalen Wright goes to the NFL? Jabari Small says, I'm done playing football. I've been doing this a long time. I'm done. I'm out. I'm done. And then Dylan Sampson hits the portal. Now we got a problem. What was the strength is now a concern for me. I think Cam Seldon's a great back. I don't know that Khalif Keith is ready to contribute. I don't know that Deshaun Bishop is ready to contribute. Yeah. That's a problem. So, again, Kaner made a comment on this show last Monday, and he got blasted for it when he said that $9 million wasn't enough for Josh Heupel because of the work that he has to do. But the nightmare that is right now, between now and signing day in February, these coaches have to put a lot of work in. Eric, what are your thoughts on this? Was it worth talking about? Is there some steam here, or is Boogie full of crap and throwing grenades for no reason? Oh, no, he's muted. It's on your headset.
It's definitely worth talking about. I never feel like what you put out there is, garbage or BS or, you just trying to stir up the pot. It's definitely worth talking about. It is a concern. I feel like if it's just Dylan, I think he's using it as leverage. I agree. I think he does stay. I think at the end of the day, he's waiting to see what happens and where the tea leaves kind of fall. And I think he will stay. But I think he's in need of some love. He needs to feel the love. I think he will. Ball Nation, we usually do a good job of reaching out and supporting people when they feel like they need a little, coddling or whatever you want to call it. But I feel like he's going to stay. I think they'll reel him back in. I think he's out on a limb. He's out, talk him off the cliff, talk him off the ledge, so to speak. I think he stays. Yeah. He's too vital to us. I mean, Heupel will get him to realize that. He's an integral part of the offense as far as the running game goes, and as a power back and the ability to break tackles. I think he stays.
Tom, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I think Jalen Wright's going. So, I mean, he'd be a fool not to, right? He had over 1,000 yards this year. What do you have, 8 yards a carry? I mean,
it was close. It was close.
Something ridiculous like that. He'd be a fool not to go, especially when you'd have a repeat of this season where you're splitting time with at least 3 backs again. He's not going to go through that again. He's the cage cheetah. He needs to go to the NFL, get out the way. He did great for us, really great. Love him to death. He ran hard, but yeah, he's going to go, and it'd be highly unlikely that Small and Samson both, after that decision's made, are going to be like, oh yeah, we're both out of here too. I mean, I don't think both of them would hightail it like that. So we're going to have at least 2 or 3 of the guys in the backfield that we had this year.
Drummer Converse, what are your thoughts on the video? And is there any scenario where you think Like I'm waiting on somebody to call me out and say, "Yeah, this is stupid. Why are you talking about it?" Although it's the most viewed video I've had in about 3 weeks, so maybe not the worst decision ever. But is there any scenario where you're like, "Boogie, it's just a song." Hashtag troll. I put out an Instagram story to promote the show tonight. I used the same Drake song. I don't know anything that Drake sings, but I used the same song just to piss people off. But is there any scenario, Drummer Converse, where you think this has nothing to do with the portal, nothing to do with NIL, nothing to do with anything, just pure coincidence?
I mean, Boogie, you know, being in the business, man, I think everything's a work. So I got to start off.
There you go. That's right. CM Punk's back in WWE where he belongs, and him and Seth Rollins are fighting in the back, right? It's all a work.
It's all the work, baby. Like I said, that's what I was going to say, man. I got to leave the wrestling news there. Hell froze over last night. But,
that's right.
But along those lines, like I said, everything's a work. I do think, like we pointed out, he knows that Wright's probably leaving. Small's up in the air because, like he said, you know, he's probably got to think about what he's put his body through and everything like that. So there's got to be no way that Samson does at least have an idea that he is going to either get the start or he's going to be one of the main backs that we use. So I think, yeah, this is absolutely a ploy to, you know, get that money. And I don't blame the kid. Don't blame it. Go get yours, man. But I don't see a scenario where he's truly going to leave.
He certainly.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say he certainly looked like he had good chemistry with Nico out there on the field. They were you know, chatting it up with each other and having some good laughs with each other, and they seemed like they flowed well together. It seemed like they had good rhythm in their cadence and handoff together.
They were grinning ear to ear when Nico came in for the first series. Him and Nico and Samson were like, and man, it's like, this is the future. Let's freaking go. We got some gamers. Oh, I do want to hit this comment from Donovan because I retweeted the pictures. Did anybody see the picture of Jalen McCullough? Like, Vol Football tweeted it out, and it was Jalen McCullough standing in the middle of the field by himself. Stadium was empty, and he was drinking it in. And it was like, this is the last time that I'll ever stand inside a Neyland Stadium. And then as he was they videoed him walking out of the tunnel, tears just flowing down his ear. And that's why, man, like Joe, like I love seeing so many seniors go out on a high note, like, you know, against Vanderbilt yesterday. And McCullough's one of those guys that we're critical of, right? That and I will always be that. I'm never going to get on here and sugarcoat it and say, oh, Jalen McCullough should be all SEC. I'm going to call a spade a spade. That is what I'm committed to doing. If it pisses people off, it pisses people off. But at the end of the day, just like we said about Joe yesterday, Jalen McCullough's a guy that gave his all. And maybe his all wasn't all SEC, but he gave his all for Tennessee.
Yeah, I had a note in my overarching notes that Jalen McCullough is not fast enough to be an SEC safety. Yep. You know, and that's that, you know, but kudos to him, man. With him not being fast enough to play in this league, he still managed to go out there and be a serviceable safety in this league. Is he perfect? Not by any stretch of the imagination. Did he try to jump a pass yesterday that he had no opportunity at picking off? Yes. But, you know, nevertheless, a guy that just bled orange, who fought really hard on the field, and his best came up a little bit short. But like I said with Joe, I'm never going to be mad at a kid for giving everything he has to this university.
Mm-hmm.
Bob, what are your thoughts on Dylan Sampson? Did you watch the video earlier? Or do you know what we're talking about?
Now, Boogie, that's a crazy question. I watch every video from Talkin VAWLS.
I know, but I didn't know if you had time to. I didn't know if you had time to watch it yet. I just wanted to make sure you knew what we were talking about.
Sometimes I may not actually watch it, but I at least listen to it. I don't. Yeah, I see what he's saying, but I mean, I listened to everything he said, and I saw the post. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think, like you alluded to, you know, there's a little break before the bowl game. I think he's going home. Maybe he's getting ready for his reboot, is my thinking. He's getting ready to reboot for next year with a lot of the old line. Looks like they're coming back because we had 6 of them or 7 of them that didn't participate in the senior day festivities. That's a good indication. A good deal of them are coming back. Mm-hmm. So I think he's just getting ready for a reboot. Mm-hmm. That's my thoughts. I don't think he's going anywhere because he knows he's number 1 or number 2 coming back next year. He's got the experience. He knows he's going to rock.
Kenny says he knows Boo Carter wants that 6. He's out. Boo's coming in and taking that 6. Let me catch up on some super chats. You guys being generous now. You guys, I had to insult you. Now you're dropping those door fees. Hank Johnson, the real Hank, Louisiana Vol. He's got more names than CM Punk. Chick Magnet. I don't know all the names. How did Cooper play? How much did Cooper play? I just remember noticing Lane in at center. I was at the game, so I didn't notice he even played at all. Yeah, Cooper played, but he got hurt. Let me see if I can find how many snaps he played. I've got the PFF grades. Let me see.
Forgot about
I don't see.
It was like 25 or 30, something like that.
I bet he's in the bottom here because where he went down, he probably didn't play. Went down early in the game. Playing offensive line, missing 3 starters. Why is it not showing? 15 snaps.
Didn't he come back and get on the bike and he was wincing a little and they were like, all right,
shut it down.
You're done. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Coop's banged up. I think he'll be back for the bowl game. Hank Johnson for another 2 says y'all see Duke head coach is headed to A&M.
Isn't every coach headed to A&M? Like Bob Stoops is going there.
I know Levy's going to Mississippi State. Mississippi State. Yeah. Jeff Lebby, right?
Yeah.
Jeff Lebby. Was he coaching at Duke?
No, that was the Oklahoma OC, was Jeff Lebby.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to Mississippi State. Yeah, Mississippi State hired Jeff Lebby as the next head coach.
Oh, did y'all hear about Ryan Day? After they lost to Michigan, now they're talking about firing him. I'm like, he's lost 1 game, and you're going to fire him?
That's because they don't play anybody else, right?
But you talk about high expectations. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Bob. You bring up a good point there. So I love watching and giving Josh Pate a hard time. And he was talking about the difference between Penn State, which is like the 3rd best team in the Big Ten for the last 5 years. And then you got Michigan and Ohio State that are just right there. The difference between those 2 schools, Penn State, and then on the bottom of that, that top 2, Ohio State, is huge, right? I mean, obviously they can't beat Ohio State, but the difference between Ohio State and Michigan is then another step. And he has to get out of that mid category. He's got to be able to beat Michigan. And if he can't,
that's what happens when you don't play anybody, right? Mike Elko, Duke's head coach, was hired at Texas A&M. What? I don't even know what his record like. His record's 16-9. So you had Jimbo Fisher and you paid him like $800 trillion and then fired him to hire a guy whose head coaching record is 16-9, and you think this is going to work out?
Yeah, and he's kind of living on the let's call it the foundation that Cutcliffe laid at Duke, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't build that program up to be kind of what it is right now after being in the doldrums for a long, long time. So that would make me a little nervous, but hey, I think A&M was kind of bargain shopping, right? They spent a couple bucks, and we can talk about infinity money all we want, but if there wasn't that big name, big dollar, perfect hire out there, then it kind of stands to reason that you might want to bargain shop a little. I might have gone after someone like Self over at Kansas personally if I were Texas A&M. I think he's a heck of a coach with quite a future in front of him.
A&M fans wanted Dan Lanning. That was never going to happen. Never going to happen.
No.
And that's the guy they wanted.
I thought they should have gone for Mike Gundy. Mike Gundy has gone nowhere for 20 years now.
How many raises did he get because of Tennessee?
Yeah, and if he would go to just a school that's a step up, kind of like poor bastard at Kentucky, Stoops. If Mike Stoops if Mark Stoops would go to A&M, or if Mike Gundy would go to A&M, they could probably be an 8-4 team for a couple of years and then get better.
Well, apparently I think more. No,
they shut that down, right? They shianoed that.
Yeah. Apparently Stoops said no. So
Oh, he said no. I thought the fan base
did he
said
really?
No.
Yeah, he said he was staying in Kentucky.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what he said he was staying. So
yeah,
because I don't see why the fan base would sit there and down that, because look what that guy's done at Kentucky. I mean, give him a little bit of money. I mean, what else do you think he could do for you? I mean, that's just my opinion.
When somebody sent that to me, I was like, why in the world would Mark Stoops ever leave? He's getting paid almost what Josh Heupel's getting paid, if not more. There's no expectations at Kentucky, and he's turned that into a pretty decent program, right? We're still their daddy, but they're winning football games. They are under Mark Stoops. I think he's a good coach. I really do.
I think
Florida. I think the reason why.
Go ahead, Bob.
Well, I just getting back to Texas A&M there for a second because it got shuffled on past me, but with Texas A&M, I think they took Mike Elko because he does have a good record at recruiting. I think they're using him as a stopgap, and using him for the recruiting purposes. Yeah, and he's got guys, but use him as a stopgap, get some recruiting in there, get a couple more classes, build that program up, and then if he doesn't show, then it's going to be a in comparison, a real cheap buyout to bring in a more quality coach later on when they have more time to do a more thorough search.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys. How do you think that's gonna go over with all those talented players they have now? I mean, the first thing a new coach has got to do, especially at a program like Texas A&M right now, is go recruit a lot of those 5-star top class guys, your Walter Nolans, your whoever's. What do you guys think? Do you think that's a coach who is going to sell some of these top end kids to stay at Texas A&M?
I'd say watch the post-spring.
I think the portal's going to be flooded with A&M players.
Post-spring is what I would watch.
Yep.
I think that's why they brought him in so quickly and not wasting time. They're getting him in because he doesn't have to just recruit from the portal or from the high schools or keep the recruits that have been committed. He's got to try to recruit those players that are already on the program, trying to keep them from going to the portal. So he's got 4 recruitment sides he's got to catch. And that's why they want to get somebody in as quick as they did.
I think they know that they're probably going to burn the next 2 years, and it stinks for them too because they had the #1 class of all time coming into last year, or they should be sophomores this year, right? I mean, but no, they might be playing mid-range game too. They might be looking at a coach to build up on recruiting for the next couple of years, get a couple of classes in. And because the NIL and the transfer portal, there's going to be a lot of coaches that are up for grabs in the next few years. We're only a few years into this whole NIL experiment, so there's going to be a lot of coaches. Like Brian Kelly, let's be honest, he's not going to be at LSU very much longer. Maybe
and not to mention conference realignment.
And conference realignment, that's a good one. Yeah. But there's going to be a coaching carousel like you've never seen before in the next couple of years because they don't know what to do yet. They don't know how to react to the new market.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we got
Coach Rice is here, but it's spinning. Coach, you're on that spectrum. You're on that boogie morning stream internet. Why does my internet work at night? But in the morning it's awful. Yeah.
I've been wanting to ask him if he won his semi game as well.
Well, I probably not, because if he did, he probably would have got a raise and been able to afford decent internet. It's like me. It's like me. I got to get on here and beg people for door fees because I can't pay my internet bill.
Nice. And if anyone's I was just going to say real quick, if anyone was wondering, Madden, Nico's little brother, lost an absolute heartbreaker by 2 points with a last-second 48-yard field goal by St. Bonaventure here for the Division 2 state championship. But played a heck of a game, put up almost 4,000 yards in total offense this year from Madden. So awesome stuff.
Coach Rice, we still see you clocking, brother. We still see you clocking. We got to teach him about the world of a laptop and hardwired internet. Hopefully he gets it straightened out. I love having Coach Rice on. Let me catch up on Super Chats. Raven Gaming for 5 says, Dorfy, okay, Boogie, since Mays didn't do senior day, does that mean he stays next year? I made a video on this. What was it, last week when that news came out, when he said he wasn't going through senior day. I told Coach Jay to come on here and play devil's advocate and tell me why that didn't matter and that Mays was gone. He's coming back. I don't think does anybody on this panel right now think that Mays is not coming back? I think it's 100%.
Mays is home. He's staying home another year.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
he's too competitive.
Yeah, and didn't Mincy? I think Mincy said something like, I'm excited to come back and play with Coop next year or something like that. I believe he spurted something like that out.
And if he was to really just hold me down to it, I think Cooper has a lot to do with those who did not participate in senior day. I think a lot of those come back, and I think he had a whole lot to do with that. Hey, guys, let's come back and get the Natty next time, or at least an SEC championship. We got this.
Yeah.
I think we need to be blowing. Go ahead.
No, you go, Eric. He was yelling at Coach Rice. You got to tell Tom when to shut up.
Sorry.
I was just going to say we need to be blowing Seaton's social media up. I blew it up the other day and said, come participate, come play with Coop, come anchor this line. This kid needs to be here. This 5-star will solidify our offensive line.
You know, some people, Eric, think that that's silly. They think it's goofy to tweet at kids. It matters.
It does matter.
Yeah, it does.
Matters. I thought it was funny. It was one of the videos I made. It was a recruiting video. I had no clue. I just pulled up the graphic. It was the Texas A&M kid. The Texas A&M kid, the wide receiver that was in the portal. And as I'm doing the video, I look out of the corner of my eye and the top comments, Coach Jay, saying "come home," and it's got a Tennessee gift. It matters. They pay attention to that love they get on social media.
I stole Coach Jay's comment about his second and third level blocking, about the vision he has downfield and the backs coming off of him. That you can't teach that. That's innate. You can't teach that. If that kid comes here, we're going to lead the conference in rushing again, and we will be competing for an SEC championship if he's healthy, period.
Yeah,
I think you need to admit that you're stealing from me, because I steal from Coach Jay too. I
So
say what he says.
Twice removed, stealing
There.
from Boogie, who's
Yeah.
stealing from Coach Jay.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Antone Davis and Charles McCragood, those are all pro linemen, man. Albeit their careers were shorter in the NFL, but those were all American linemen we had. This kid's got that kind of potential.
He does. He does.
Yep.
Coach Rice, how'd the game go, man?
Oh, we won.
There you go. There you go. I saw that smirk. I knew already.
So state championship coming up Friday.
There we
take
go.
a state championship.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'd love to hear it.
What's the matchup? How you feeling about the matchup?
They're really good. So we're gonna have to bring it. We got a lot of game planning we gotta get into. That's why I'm late. We've been at a coaches meeting, so diving into the game plan.
Well, you know, I bet if you guys tuned in on Tuesday night to the NCAA stream, I'd give you some pointers.
Okay, there you go. Run that strong guy.
There you go. There you go. Let me catch up on Super Chats. Every time I read one, you guys take over the show, but I'm here for it. Amber drops a $5 Super Chat. Appreciate that. Amber says, I love this Vol community. It was obvious how excited and supportive the team is for Nico. They rallied around him. You know, when he threw that first touchdown pass against Connecticut, that was a talking point for us, right? It's like this locker room, this football team loves some Nico. Robert Thomas drops a $20 super sticker. That is not cheap. Nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. We appreciate that, Robert. He's also been a member for 30 months. You guys want to support the channel. You like the content. You like the live streams. You don't want me to go back and work for the man, because that's on the table. My wife was like, what's going to happen when this all crumbles and burns to the ground? I said, I'm just going to go back to working a day job. Like, that's what will happen. Like, I got to go to work. So if you guys don't want me to go back to work, you guys want more live streams, you want Coach Rice and Coach Jay to jump on here and talk some recruiting, you want film breakdowns, you want all that stuff, make sure you join the channel. Hit the join button down below. You can also jump on the fan call-in shows. I was already thinking today, I was like, man, I don't want them to just go away. Maybe we'll just sprinkle them in every month. One fan call-in show a month. One live film breakdown a month. One recruiting live stream with me, Coach Jay, and Coach Rice a month. That way we're continuing to stream maybe twice a week all throughout the offseason. NCAA night and then something else. So we'll see. Maybe we'll keep these fan call-in shows rolling all throughout the season, off-season. Papa J for 5 says, hope we can keep our freshmen and sophomores. Not many got opportunities to play too much. We'll talk about that in just a second, Papa J. Evan Counts for 2 says Georgia versus Tennessee SEC Championship 2024. I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. I'm excited about 2024, but Papa J brings up a good point. Some of these freshmen, sophomores didn't get some run. We're talking about Dylan Samson and all the drama there, whether or not he's entering the portal, not entering the portal. Oh, man, if you're going to do that, I got to back out. I can't have that up my nose if somebody's going to leave. So let me ask you guys this to kind of go on what Papa Jay's saying there. Dylan Sampson, possibility to enter the portal. Who else? Is there anybody on this roster that you think is going to enter the portal or maybe should enter the portal? You know, I said Heupel's going to have the conversations. Sometimes people are like, oh, if you don't want to be here, hit the road. Guess what? Sometimes Josh Heupel says you need to leave. Go find another school. It happens. I know firsthand knowledge of it happening with a special teams player a couple of years ago. It happens. So Let's just go around the room. We'll start with Coach Jay. Anybody you think will enter the portal, should enter the portal, be forced into the portal before spring? Let's go before spring. He's on that Cali internet.
Clearly think anyone. Sorry, my internet. Just maybe skip ahead. I got to back out and come back in.
All
My
right,
internet's
back
a
out,
little
come back
dicey
in. Let's
here,
go
but-
to Eric. Let's go to Eric.
All right.
I wouldn't say should, but I wouldn't be surprised if a receiver jumps into the portal. That's usually one of the skill positions where they always want the ball. Feel like there's not enough ball to go around. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these young, quick wide receivers jumps into the portal and says, maybe I get more play, more balls thrown my way at another school.
Yeah, I don't really have any opinion on it. I just hope none of them, like we were talking about Dylan Samson. He's basically the only one that I'm really concerned about keeping. The coach can take a janitor and turn him into a wide receiver that can catch a few touchdown passes in the year. I mean, he really could. He can scheme a dude to get open, but yeah.
I'm not really worried about anyone in particular other than Dylan Samson. And part of me just thinks.
Oh, he's on that Coach Jay internet.
Uh-oh.
Am I back?
You're back. You're back.
Okay. Because it doesn't show up on my end. I don't know why it does that, but because it seems like it's going fine, but it is what it is. But the offensive line, I could see a couple of those sophomores who haven't been getting much run jumping into the portal. Guys like if they don't see their time coming, especially if Spraggins comes back and get carriage, but that may be Messiah Reddick or someone, and that's a guy that I can see us, by his junior senior year helping us out. But if he's not getting any PT or doesn't see any coming in the future, I could see a couple of those sophomore offensive linemen or freshman offensive linemen jumping into the portal.
Those are guys, though, that I think if they were good enough, they would be pushing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of
that's why I'm saying, I'm not really worried about those guys jumping into the portal, although how bad offensive line depth is needed. But it's not one of those positions where I'm super concerned if I see them jump into the portal.
As far as I go, I don't see anybody rushing to go to the portal out of Tennessee. Everybody knows it's starting to come their time because our team is young. Our most senior, like we showed you, almost 2 years that there's, we got seniors and then we're back to sophomores. We don't have a lot of juniors in there. So I think they know their playing time's coming and they're being patient, just like Milton was coming up behind Hooker. I just don't see a lot of them jumping into it. Now, whether Coach Heupel, shows them the door saying, hey, you could probably get better playing time and get more coverage if you did hit the portal, I can see that possibly happen, but where, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe a wide receiver, but I think before he did that with the receivers, he would see which ones might fit into a tight end and maybe put some weight and strength on them. But that's my thought.
I mean, what wide receivers do you guys think would leave? I mean, you look at the wide receiver next year, the wide receiver room next year. I think Dante Thornton's coming back, and I saw somebody in the chat, I put it up on the screen, said Dante Thornton should hit the portal. I think Dante Thornton's going to have an opportunity to start next year on the outside.
It sounds like keep him on the outside.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I think your starting wide receivers could be Brew McCoy, Dante Thornton, and Squirrel White next year. So does that force a Caleb Webb or a Chaz Nimrod, who would be going into their redshirt sophomore year? But then again, I mean, you got to look at it. At that point, you would know that Dante Thornton's going to be gone and Brew McCoy's going to be gone the next year. So you would be going into your redshirt junior year, and you would be the starter. And that is what we are fighting, scratching, and clawing to get back to. That's why when we talk about the running back room, right? And Dylan Samson, like if all that stuff today was true and he's pissed about not getting enough carries, guess who the best running back on this football team was? I've been kind to you guys in the chat all year long. Jalen Wright's the best running back on this football team. He's better than Dylan Samson. Like there's no questions asked. He is better than Dylan Samson. That's why he was getting the brunt of the carries. But what we want is that Alabama, that Georgia model where Jalen Wright goes off to the NFL, and then guess what? Whoop, here comes Dylan Sampson. Oh, Dante Thornton off to the NFL, here comes Caleb Webb. That's what you want. That's what we're trying to get back to. So, for Caleb Webb, Chaz Nimrod, to be pissed about not starting as a redshirt sophomore, wait your turn. That's what we got to get back to. And I know the NIL world, transfer portal world, changes all that. Ron the Don, welcome to the show, my friend. Any thoughts about the transfer portal? You can talk about Dylan Sampson or anybody else on this roster you think may look to hit the portal.
Yeah, the thing is, these guys ain't going nowhere. They're going to dip their toe in the water, see what kind of deals they can make, and maybe get a little cash in their pocket. Everything right now is set up for next year. Nico's here. He's going to be playing. If we can get the offensive line back, what better way you can put on your resume to have a natty on your back going to the pros, maybe of 1,200 yard rushing because the offensive line is there. They'd be crazy insane to leave this program right now. I mean, now they can try and do something crazy if they need the money, but having a national championship on your back when you leave college, going into the pros, means something.
Yeah, and from the wide receiver position, I've seen someone put Laycock. It's a real big luxury to be able to redshirt Nathan Laycock, someone that was kind of new to that wide receiver position, a little newer to football in general. So to be able to redshirt him, to be able to redshirt Spillman, that really helps and kind of builds that depth that we've been talking about that we need, to be thick, to have a lot of depth. Because now all of a sudden, say Brew does come back and Thornton comes and Squirrel comes, and then you lose all them. Now all of a sudden, if you can retain them, you have Webb, you have Nimrod, you have Laycock, you have Spillman. Oh, and by the way, Mike Matthews and maybe Boo Carter as well.
Yeah, because Boo Carter plays both sides.
Good to me. Yeah.
Yeah, because Boo plays both sides of the ball. He'll play, put him at safety or linebacker, and then maybe throw him into a couple plays on the offense as a receiver. So
yeah. And do you guys agree with the kind of the sentiment that, if someone can't wait, redshirt freshman year for their turn, do you really want them anyway? I mean, yeah. Yep. That's my point. Like, I don't want them if they're not willing to wait that long. If they're prima donna and just want everything gift wrapped for them. If Nico was on that sideline, also being a baby, pouting about it, would you really want him here? I say no. I say I want someone who can wait their turn, be a good teammate, and step up when it's their time.
Well, it's not so much about them wanting to wait or be in such a hurry. Be in a hurry to learn the game, learn the process, learn the game plan that this team works off of. Build yourself up so that when you do get that call, you ready to go in, coach.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely. But to answer your question on transfers, I still think we lose a linebacker at some point. I know Peely's coming back, but you're going to have a crowded room, especially of Wills. You just have quite a few of them. I know we got a little banged up there this year, but we'll see which ones kind of stick. But I think we're about to have 4 or 5 of them there, so we'll see how those guys pan out as well. Obviously, guys like T. Lander and Arian Carter are going to be around because they're good enough to play. But we'll see past that who can kind of step up and what kind of cream can rise to the top at that position.
How about Jeremiah Thielander being the highest graded defensive player on Saturday?
He looked good.
Vanderbilt. Yeah,
he looked good, man. He looked good on Saturday. He looked good against the pass. I think I mentioned in the post game he looked really good, diving underneath on his backside counters. Looked great football player.
Ricky Gibson graded out pretty high as well. I mean, he stood out. Ricky Gibson stood out to me live. I didn't rewatch the game today. I told Coach Jay right before we went live I was about to, and then decided to throw the grenade at all of you guys, as you said. Let me catch up on super chats here. I did see a comment. Who was it? Where did you go? I was going to call you out. Kenny. Kenny Davis says, so is this a fan call-in show or what? Let's get some new faces. The link is out to Talkin VAWLS Gold and higher. So if you want to come on, come on. I can't force you guys. I can't drive to your house and make you come on. But you have the link, Talkin VAWLS Gold and higher. Maybe I'll drop it down a tier here in just a moment. Let me catch up on Super Chat. So that's right. Go Vols says Okoye. And just like that, who did you guys piss off? Did it piss Bob off that I said I was going to send somebody? He's like, oh, if you don't want me to be a part of the show, then I'll just leave. Emmanuel Okoye is raw. He is so raw. Evan Counts for 5 says if Samson isn't here for the tea, then we don't need him. We don't need that kind of energy in the locker room. I think Dylan Sampson's coming back next year. I think it's all about NIL money. Jonathan Tolick for 5. Boogie Bentley going back to work for the man is the equivalent of putting a cheetah in a cage. GBO.
That's what I said about a while ago.
I'll take that comment, Jonathan. I appreciate that. But hey, man, you guys aren't going to let that happen. You guys keep this channel afloat, and I appreciate that. That's right. Go Vols for 2 says we cannot lose James Pierce Jr. Go Vols. He ain't going anywhere. He's going to be leading this defense next year again. That's right. Go Vols for $20. That is not cheap. Says hoping the badass from Baton Rouge stays. NC State Graveyard. Nico leading them there. What are the keys to getting to Atlanta, and what does that look like next season? Texas, Bama, Georgia. That's right. Go Vols. Does Atlanta exist? Is it just a top 2? Because conferences are going away. So is it just the top 2 teams?
Yeah, the top 2 teams will play in Atlanta.
Okay. Okay. And something else. NC State Graveyard. Were you the one on Twitter? There was some troll that came out of the woodwork, and he was attacking me for I don't even remember what I said. It was just a random tweet during the game. And he starts going on and on about who's Tennessee beat, this, that, and the other. I'm like, I love when some random person that doesn't follow me, they don't follow Talkin VAWLS, but they end up in my timeline, just the Conor McGregor. Who the is that guy? I love dropping that because I'm like, why are you even in my timeline? And then somebody, they're like, Boogie, step aside. I'm going to get out the shovel and dig a burial ground for this person. And I think it had to be That's Right, Go Vols, because he kept saying NC State Graveyard. Was that you? Let me know. That's what I'm dying to know. I don't even know where we're going for that. Let's see. What did he say about the SEC championship? What did he say? He said, what are the keys? Go try. You go. Tell me what's the keys to getting to Atlanta next year?
Complimentary football, all three phases of the game, playing good football. I want the offense to be more, more efficient, better flow, I guess, and I think we'll get that with Nico. I think, we'll have our rocky spots. I mean, he is going to be a freshman, so a redshirt freshman. But I also think there will be times where you just see the star potential in him, and your jaw's just going to drop because of the way he's going to have our offense moving at times. And then our defense, man, just take another step up. I mean, I think our defense in general did take a step up this year, but take a better. Someone called me. Take a better step up. Yeah, someone called me on my phone, so.
It's his assistant coach is trying to put together a game plan to go win
state.
He's like, shut up, trying to talk Tennessee football.
Yeah. So, just better defense, being physical at the line, playing more man-to-man. And, I mean, zone is good, at times, but don't have 10-yard drop-offs and give cushion to these receivers at tight ends. Just let them do whatever they want. Get their timing for their routes and everything. I want to see more aggressive physical defense and then just better flow offensively.
Jump in there, Ron the Don. What are the keys to get to Atlanta next year?
For me personally, because I like the defense, I like to get a couple of inmates with some loose screws who want to play football, whether it be linebackers or D-line. I want somebody that every time the other offense steps on the field, they are literally scared. It may cost us a couple of penalties here and there, but for the most part, we need a couple of loose screwed inmates that's going to ravage teams, man. I mean, Alabama and Georgia, they got it with natural skill. We need somebody who might need some medical attention, and they may need therapy. But I want them on our defensive line, man. I want them to wreak havoc. Pierce is there. He's there. We need somebody with the actual loose screw that can't be tightened up. Just, I want some defense, man. Harsh defense. Rough defense.
That's one thing I think we've kind of missed at linebacker. You know, Jeremy Banks had a dirty, like a bad side. Like that dude,
right on the line.
He would come in and, you know, pretty much drive somebody into the ground. Don't get me wrong, Aaron Beasley's been good, and I've liked him at linebacker. But what we missed this year is that linebacker and I think Keenan Pili could have been that dude. That dude that was, you know, in the run game. They ran away from, like they game planned to run away from, and that's just, I think that's something we missed this year at linebacker. Right? And I think Arian Carter will be that dude. He just needs more time to, you know, learn and develop, and you know, as he develops, he'll get quicker and be more aggressive in his run gap.
You know, it's funny. Dion got crucified when he said, "What do you want from your quarterback? You want a guy that's got a happy family, mom, dad, both involved, you know, lots of money, they're rich, they take care of him, the spoiled little baby, high IQ. What do you want in your defensive lineman? I want single mama, daddy's not in the picture, and that dude's got some dog in him." That's what it is, man. That's exactly what – and somebody in the chat said, yes, Ron, speak the freaking truth. It's the truth. You want that dude that's a loose cannon playing on the defensive line. You want that guy that's not all there. You want that guy that football's all he's got, right? Football's all he's got. That's the guy. That's the – and I don't know Al Wilson's background. I'm not saying
Alvin Mack.
Yes, give me. There you go. Thank you for bailing me out, Coach. Give me the Alvin Macks. Give me the Latimers. That's who you want on defense. Those guys that got that dog. Dog is the word we're looking for, Ron. We need that dog.
You're looking for a bunch of water boys on that defensive line. If you get the reference. My thing is as I've watched the season play out, I think the reason why they're playing the linebacker so deep is because the safeties have been weak, and they're trying to cover for those weak safeties. Now, I'm not a defensive coach, but I mean, at the beginning of the season, Haddon was doing a hell of a job. They can't do it all on his own. You still had a second safety out there. It wasn't pulling his weight. Nowhere near what he should. So I think we need to work. Our defensive line is strong. They just can't stay on the line because they're having to back off the line to help out down the field. So if we can strengthen the safeties, that's going to free them up to actually work the line a little better. I think more of what we need more help with is the offensive line to give our quarterback more time to make the plays, for him to scan that field. Because if you notice, if we play a high tempo like we're used to playing, he doesn't have to hold on to the ball, but he still has to have the protection to be able to look that field over. That's my thing. We just need to protect the quarterback, and then we need to put the other quarterback on the floor.
Yeah, offense isn't going to be a problem next year. Our offensive line, if Cooper's coming back, he gets into shape. Yeah, offense not going to be a problem. I was just looking at our defense, actually. We got a couple of guys stepping up, and, of course, James Pierce is going to be the leader. But Caleb Perry and Jordan Thomas,
Beasley.
And if you get Gabe Judy Lally to come back and fill in as the kind of situational defensive guy, the defense actually might improve because we're losing McDonald. I mean, these guys, like Boogie was saying earlier, they played hard, but maybe it just wasn't as good as we need. We're going to lose a couple of guys on defense that are probably honestly going to be an improvement when we put the backups in. I mean,
McDonald didn't go through senior day, so he may come back. I mean, I agree. I think some of these younger guys are quicker, but I mean, what I'm biggest concern is the D line for me. We did have a lot of guys go through senior day that I was hoping, which they still may come back. They still have the option that even if they went through senior day, they still could come back, like Amari Thomas and Omar Norman Lott and Elijah Simmons and Bryson Eason. All those guys went through senior day. So I'm hoping we can get a couple of those guys to convince them to come back. If not, we're definitely going to have to hit the portal. I mean, we got some young guys there like Weathersby and Hobbs and, of course, we got a big group of edge guys, but I'm mainly talking about the big dudes in the middle and the 5 techniques as well. So we'll see.
We just need two. Just need two real good, hard, solid ones to be on the line. I think everybody else will catch up. I mean, those who got some playing time this year and those who've been waiting to play, sooner or later you got to hit the gas on them. You got to cut them loose. If we can get us 2 good, solid defensive players on the line, hardcore, we are going to be so even much better next year. I'm telling you.
This is good stuff from Bob right here. Guys that didn't go through senior day, because to me, like what Coach Rice just said, if you went through senior day, that doesn't mean anything to me, right? Those are guys that are on the fence. They're thinking about it.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Jacob Warren went through senior day last year, man, and I wish I'd clipped McAllen Castles and what he said.
I loved what he said.
Press conference.
Oh, it was awesome.
Talking
Loved
about the people versus, I got to clip that and add it into the opening clips. It was so good. And like seeing him get emotional, like the way that Jacob, you talk about teammates, the way that Jacob Warren took McAllen Castles under his wing and said, you're basically here to take playing time away from me, but you're here for 1 year. We're both here for 1 year and I'm going to walk you through it all. Man, that is culture. And when we complain and we gripe and all this stuff about the decisions Josh Heupel makes, look at the culture. On the flip side of that, guys that didn't go through senior day, that tells me you're coming back. Like if you didn't go through senior day, Cooper Mays is coming back. Look at this list that Bob just posted there. Javonte Spraggins, Dane Davis, Danico Slaughter, Jackson Lampley, Keenan Peely, Tamari McDonald. The big ones that stick out to me, and then we'll see what Bob has to say since he put this list out there. Cooper Mays, huge. Spraggins, huge. Keenan Peely and Tamari McDonald, huge. Tamari McDonald's going to be a dude in the star next year. Keenan Peely's going to be the leader of this defense. And then now you're talking about an offensive line with Cooper Mays, Javonte Spraggins, and I don't know, maybe Jordan Seaton out there at the other offensive tackle. Sign me up. Bob, what do you think? You put this list out there. What's going through your head?
When I seen this list, I went through this list and I thought, I'll tell you what, if we get every one of these back, the rest of them can graduate. The rest of them can graduate. I'm good. I am so good. I mean, the Cooper Mays, that just pumps me up. He'll be here for 1 more year. I think he'll bring his relief up to speed. What is it? Ollie Lane has been taking his spot when he's out. Ollie Lane it's not been
gone.
It's been 50 with Ollie Lane.
Addison Nichols is probably Nichols or Bison Lang, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or what's the other kid? The kid from Texas that sat out all year too is another option at guard. Why can't I think of his name right now?
No, I'm talking center for Cooper.
Oh, center. Oh, yeah, Bison Lang, I would think.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it'd be Bison Lang.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it'll give Cooper Mays 1 more year to bring them up to speed on that position and how to lead that offense. Because I don't care. Your center has to lead that offensive line. It has to be the center. It has to be because he's got 2 people on either side. He's not trying to be down here on the right side trying to talk to everybody on the left. He's dead center. He's the one that controls the tempo of that game. He's the one that snaps it. They got to get used to how he moves that ball as he snaps it, so they don't get the false starts. If they don't get used to that center, it's over. So,
I think they moved to Nico Slaughter back to safety. Going into next year. Ricky Gibson will be holding down one corner spot, and I think we go get a portal guy to hold down, or one of the other younger guys.
So you think Slaughter and Turrentine side by side at safety?
Yeah. I can see that.
I am praying that they that Haddon gets his medical red shirt for this last year. I really do.
He played too many games.
It's going to be tough, but he might get it. And if he does, that'll be epic.
Yeah, and on top of that, do you reckon Keenan Peely's coming back? I don't think he is. I mean, he's been here for...
I do.
I think he is.
I think he wants 1 more year tape.
Didn't go through senior day, and he was supposed to be back in October, and he set out the whole rest of the season.
I hope so. Hey, if this entire team if every single player, this is just ideal scenario, but if every single player that could come back did come back for next year and create, you might not start because we've got maybe more talented kids backing you up that are going to be a year older and a year bigger, but the amount of competition it's going to create, that would be great. And then you can get another recruiting class on top of that, and then you can start hitting every day in practice. You can start saying, you know what, we're going to go full tilt every day in practice, all practice. Don't care who gets hurt because, well, you care, but you know what I'm saying. We've got
Everybody
people.
dies.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I see it because the best coaches on any team does not have coach in front of their name. It's your fellow players. It's your seniors coaching the underclassmen. Period.
And on that point, how many games have Nico been in this year? This by the way was third game he's been in. When you see the players' response to him on the field before and after, I'm telling you, there is something special going on. Get ready. And like I say, you'll be a fool. You'll be a bat with greasy feet not to want to hang around and be on this team next year when Nico comes in here. It took Joe 6.5 years to get here, plus a couple of billion in baby daddy. Anyway, Nico can only go up. Joe came in here. If Nico goes up and you ride along with that, you be crazy not to stick around and play with this guy. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming.
If you look at next year, there's about 5 games before it hits the fan at is it at Georgia? He's got Arkansas, he's got UTEP, he's got NC State and Charlotte. He's got some games to get some experience that aren't like impossible games that are going to, be over his head or where he's going to feel lost.
The
And the
NC
other point
State
with
is
our
a nice
defense, the other point about our defense, do we think they were that inept this year, or were they a function of our inept offense not being able to stay on the field? I feel like our defense wasn't as bad this year as it may have shown stat-wise, and we grew defensively this year. Besides the injuries, I mean, they weren't. I mean, in the secondary, yes, but there's a lot of things we can take from this year defensively as positives. Because I feel like they were given a lot more challenges this year than last year. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say I agree with you. I think this defense at times was rode hard and put away wet. They were out on that field a lot, and did they still make plenty of mistakes, play too soft, and not be fast enough in the back end? Sure, but they were also kind of left out to dry. So I totally agree with you, and I agree with you that Nico's going to have a lot of games to tune up. I think NC State's the perfect tune-up game. It's not a hand-me game. They're a ranked team, if I'm not mistaken. If they won their game yesterday, anyway, they're a ranked team.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they have the same record as us. A team we could even face in a bowl game, perhaps. But I don't think they'll do that when we play them next year. But should be a really interesting game. What'd you guys think of Nico yesterday? Maybe humor old Coach Jay and tell me what you thought of the young man yesterday.
Poised.
Yeah.
That's always going to be my go-to thing of what I think about Nico in the short amount of time that we, his pocket presence and his, way he maneuvers around in the pocket, and just how, one thing that, we've said about Joe all year is how he kind of reads the field a little slower than what we saw the year before with Hooker. Well, am I back?
I'm on the edge
yeah,
of
you're
my
back
seat.
now.
All right. So Nico reads the field really quick, and that's one thing between that and his pocket presence, and just to continue develop. If he gets these 15 extra bowl practices, I'm hoping Joe opts out and he gets to play the bowl game all spring, and then going into next fall.
Well.
Coach Jay, I got a question for you.
Yep.
You follow recruiting probably better than any of us do. Are you
How dare you.
following Daniel Okoye? Have you seen what's going on in his feed? I think he was in the hospital. He's like, this story isn't over yet. Is he still available for us to go out and steal away from Oklahoma?
He could be. It's just kind of a weird situation. I would say it's a long shot, but I mean, I'd love to have him if we could get him. It's kind of an oddball there, but I think the coaching staff has moved on from him personally. Unfortunately, Eric.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Kai Bates? Is he gettable?
I tend to think Kai Bates is not coming to Tennessee. I don't
He's
know
gone.
why. I think I told
He's
Boogie
gone.
I have
He's
a
gone.
I have a weird feeling about him the whole time. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about Kai Bates, but I love this recruiting class that we're sitting on right now. I think we just need to put a couple cherries on top of it, and we'll be just fine. But
Absolutely.
yeah, no, I agree with everything Coach Rice said about Nico. Thought he looked great yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Let me hit this super chat from Evan Counts for $5. Says we need to get that cornerback Smoke Bowie from UGA out of the portal. His name seemed to start. Did he go in the portal last year? Because I remember that name. I remember seeing his name, whether it was in the portal or not. I don't know.
I don't remember that name.
Yeah, it's a strange name though. It sticks out.
Yes, Texas A&M. He transferred from Texas A&M to Georgia, so he was in the portal last year. So he wouldn't be able to. What is he? Class of what class is he? Sorry, I'm looking at his 247 Sports profile right now. No, he was already in the portal. He transferred from Texas A&M to Georgia, I think. So he would have to be a graduate transfer to come to Tennessee, or else he would have to transfer down.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about
he's there,
guys? Somebody said something about the schedule next year. The toughest 2 games are Bama, Oklahoma. I mean,
I'm looking at the schedule right. I'm looking at the schedule right now. I'm looking at the schedule right now. We got at Arkansas, at Georgia, at Oklahoma,
or at Georgia,
and then we got Alabama, Florida, Kentucky, Mississippi State, all coming home to us
at home. Yeah.
Who you attacking in the chat, Coach Jay? Who you attacking?
Nothing.
In the chat?
Just telling people I'm keeping certain receipts. You know, there's I feel like there's a couple of Wall fans that I'm keeping receipts for. A couple in the chat the other day, but that's all right. You know, breathe, guys. I know we've been hurt as Vol fans, so you don't want to love someone because when you love someone, you don't want to get your heart broken. It's okay, man. Nico's gonna bring you flowers. He's gonna be there for you. He's going to take you to the movies and cook you dinner at night and come bring you all the little trophies you want. It's okay. It's okay, man. Dare to love again. Dare to love again. It's all right.
Do you have any receipts for me, Coach Jay? Do you have any?
Do I have any what?
Do you have any receipts for me, man?
I don't know. I don't know. I've been keeping them lately more than anything. But
Coach is a rookie.
Hey,
Coach is a rookie around here. Once you get insulted enough that you stop forgetting, like I guarantee you, some of you all have insulted me and I've hated your guts, and then you pop in here and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Tom? It's good to see you in the chat." And they're like,
"Oh, come on, that was one time."
Yeah, probably like 8 times. Look, I've lost count of how many people hate me. I forgot how many people hate me. Honesty, we're an hour and 7, almost 8 minutes into this thing. So let's recap the entire hour and 8 minutes. I want your opinion on everything we've talked about. Go.
You know, I'm the worst person to ask, Boogie. I just finished watching the Eagles game with my dad. He's from up there, and he's a big Eagles fan. So I just finished that, and I saw the notification. I was like, oh, yeah, I got to jump on there. And then you asked me to recap the last hour. Well, let's recap the Eagles game if you want me to.
That's just me being a smart aleck. We're talking a lot of transfer portal. I said we were going to talk about a recap of the season, but we've not done that at all.
I'm nervous about Dylan Samson. That scares me.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about that earlier. So you think there's a legitimate threat there? Did you watch the video earlier?
Yeah, I did. And, I mean, I don't know. When you talked about the Jalen Wright thing, I remembered when you posted that video last year, and I was like, oh, no, and then it didn't come to fruition. But I don't know. I mean, what's the worst that happens? Like, we have to start small. Oh, no. Like, Small's a great running back, you know, and Cam Seldon shows promise, too. As much as I want Dylan Samson to stay, I don't think the program's going to collapse if he doesn't. I mean, if he wants to go somewhere else, he's going to do that. I'd love for him to stay. He's great, you know, but, yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to is NIL. I think that's what it's all about. Coach Rice drops a $2 super chat, says, damn Spectrum, they're getting a call tomorrow. Hey, Coach, when you call them, tell them there's a guy up in East Tennessee named Boogie Bentley that's losing money every single day. And if they don't fix the internet, we got a problem. So there's strength in numbers, Coach Rice. Don't make me take to Twitter. That's right, Go Balls for 5 says, better keep receipts on Russell. Me too. I guess I'm not sold just yet. but I'm trying really, really hard, Coach Shea. That's right, go Vols. This is what I would say to all the people that are doubting or questioning Nico. What has he shown you that would make you doubt him?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's perfectly fair to take a wait-and-see approach, right? He did it against Connecticut.
Yeah, sure,
He did it against Vanderbilt. He's the highest-rated prospect Tennessee has signed in the modern era. And I know that doesn't mean a hill of beans when it comes to the next level. But it's okay to take the wait-and-see, but I will wait for somebody to tell me what Nico's shown you that makes you question him. Just the same way that I challenged Gary the other night and said, tell me one game that Joe Milton won. Nobody can do it. Nobody can do it. You can't.
Yeah,
Can't be done.
No, you can't. I said kind of that comment because I feel like a lot of people sometimes are looking for failure at this point with this team. Like I remember someone made the comment yesterday, oh, I don't like that Nico's staring down the receivers every play, and then you throw on the film to rewatch. Second play of the game, second pass, he looks off the backer and comes back to the other side, back down to the bottom of the screen for a beautiful dime. So I feel like sometimes people just looking for failure because it's unfortunately been what Tennessee's been dealing with for some time. But
I think that's the battered ball syndrome there.
Yeah. The BVS, I get it, but
the struggle's real, man.
The
No,
struggle's
I've
real.
got that. I've got that hard, like I told you
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
The last show I was on.
Hey, we've all been through it, man. So I get it.
LSU. I've never seen a team that can make it happen. You know, every time especially on defense, I feel like every time it's 3rd and long, I'm like, well, they're gonna convert. You know, screw it. Yeah. So I've got no faith, and it stinks. I want to have faith in the team, and sometimes you can't change what you've been trained to believe for years. You know.
Absolutely.
Buggy,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Tom.
No, I was just saying it's ingrained. He's right. You expect failure sometimes. I mean, I've even been in Neyland Stadium before, and I was like, man, you know what? We came all the way here. Yup, look at that. He just got 15 yards on 3rd and 8. You know, I mean, it's just in those crucial moments, it's ingrained. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is Boogie, you brought up asking us what we want to see for next year. One thing I forgot to mention is I want them to actually stick with their game plan, running the ball. Every time we've ran the ball well, we have done well. We've won games. Yeah. The last 3 games, you know, when we went up against Alabama and when we went up against Georgia, we lost both those games, but it's because we stopped running. We stopped running the ball. They started stopping our run, but it doesn't mean we have to stop trying to run. We didn't try to run, so now they's like, okay, they're not going to run anymore. We just cover deep and we're good. And that's how they're beating us. You got to keep them honest with that run game, and we need to do that next year.
That's what pissed me off about the Georgia game on the rewatch and like just looking at the drive charts, and I'm like, so many times it was 3rd and 2, and they threw the football down the field. It's like, trust the run, trust the best player on your offense, Jalen Wright, give him the football, and maybe you get stuffed, but man, what are your odds with this offense in 2023? What are your better odds, throwing the ball with Joe Milton or running the ball with Jalen Wright? Give me Jalen Wright 10 out of 10 every time.
And how you going to wear that defensive line down unless you're hitting them with the running back?
Yeah. And they also need to do a little bit more. I sound like a broken record, but they got to mix it up more next year. They really do. It's either run it up the middle with that little trap play or it's a speed option. Every once in a while they throw a read option in there, which is beautiful to see. But Joe usually handed it off. So, yeah. But, you know, the cool thing is Nico's going to run it out of the pocket a lot more. He's going to step forward. They're going to run on 1st and 10 on the first series, but then on the next series, they're going to pass it on 1st down. You know, I mean, with this one, it's not really exactly run, pass, but it's definitely going to be a situation where I think Boogie said it in the video the other day. You're going to have a guy who can step up in the pocket, 1 step forward, 1 step to the side, and then just take off. I mean, he did it yesterday. Yeah, it's Vanderbilt, but
Joe, man.
Can I ask you a question?
On my ideas? I mean, I'm telling you, when Hendon was in the game, when do we ever worry about 4th down? Oh, we're going for 4th down. Okay, cool. Hendon made it work. Joe, oh my goodness, what is he going to do? If the first part of the play doesn't happen, it's like, oh my God, we're gonna punt the ball. You watch Nico when he was out there. Joe was in the game to make that play. Nico gets in the game to make those plays. It's a total difference. He's seeing the ball, he's seeing downfield, he's moving, so he's not just what you call locked in on that one play. He can make plays. I'm telling you, you can see it. And like I say, he's just starting out. He's ready to make plays.
Yep. Absolutely.
I got a question for people who might know more about this than me. You know, when you watch run plays, sometimes you think, why don't they just run it around the outside? You know, because there's no one over there. And of course, the answer is, well, the linebackers would respond to that. But teams run on the outside a lot. We never did. So there's got to be some sort of utility to it. Does anyone know why we didn't? Is it just poor play calling, lack of creativity, or is there actually a reason that they never did that?
It's scheme. And
it's scheme.
A lot. And I'm sorry to cut you off there, Bob. It's scheme for sure. They're trying to pull off that inside. I mean, it is a trap. We've got a guy pulling from just across on the other side of the center to just across on the other side, hit the first guy across the line. I mean, that's as simple as it gets.
It's all numbers. It's not about, I mean, it is about scheme, like Tom said, but it's not about, I'm going to run outside, I'm not going to run this. It's all about numbers, right? And matchups. And it's all about getting double teams at the line of scrimmage, releasing, getting to the second level, and getting a hat on a linebacker. That's why you had the house call against Georgia. You had one linebacker that didn't fill the hole, and it's a house call. Like, and they're not looking for a house call. They're looking for 5 yards. You get 5 yards to carry, or in Jalen Wright's case, 7.4 yards per carry. Like, I'm not some genius that's trying to talk X's and O's, but it's all a numbers game. That's all there is to it. And that's why I love the Heupel show. And I think sometimes he gives a little more than the average coach. And he's talking about that. He's like, okay, we had the numbers. We're trying to run the football because we had the numbers in the box. We had the advantage. There's no reason why, if everybody on that line of scrimmage executes, we shouldn't pick up what we need to pick up. Coach Jay, you're grinning ear from here. Tell me why I was wrong.
Double team on the line.
No, you're not wrong. I don't think you're wrong at all. No, I was just grinning ear to ear about something Coach Rice said in the chat a minute ago. About Gary the Sea Lion.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you because I'm following that storyline too. Sorry, Bob.
I just found that
I cut
funny.
you off
Sorry.
for Coach Jay to attack a troll.
My bad.
I got to piss. Coach Jay, you're in charge. I'll be right back.
Okay. So
my thing is they said that we didn't do any of those kind of plays, getting it out around the outside. But wasn't it during the first half of the Alabama game? Didn't we have one where we caught Squirrel White on end around? Milton pitched it to I think he pitched it to Wright, and then Wright pitched it over to Squirrel, come back the other way.
That was the Georgia game.
That was a Georgia game. Okay, I just thought it was a beautifully timed play. They executed perfectly. What did he pick up? Like 12, 14 yards, I think.
Well, that was the only time we did it the whole season.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They need more of that, but we just didn't do it.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Tom.
You go ahead.
I was just going to say, part of it is you got to kind of watch that with the way we run our splits so wide too. You're funneling DBs and safeties to outside position and outside leverages by keeping our wide receivers as wide out as we do. So when you notice that we've been running, when we do run the edges, I agree, honest, in little spurts, it's usually when we run motion and run one of them away so that we have numbers. So I do think it's a lot of scheme. And I would like to see us attack the edge more. I think we just need to get a little more creative with how we do it.
Yeah.
So I guess you're saying it's – sorry.
No, yeah, go ahead. No, finish your thought, honest.
Is it because we don't usually line up like our tight ends in the box a lot? Like we don't go under center. We don't do anything like that. We're always in shotgun. Everyone's, off the line. That's why we don't go.
Right. And if you're putting a tight end out in space, then you're putting him against a skill player who can shake him easily and go make a play.
Yeah. And he's not going to make a block.
Yeah.
Yep.
What I thought was nice about it is they caught him in man coverage, And when they had him in man coverage, the corner was following across the field right along with Squirrel, which he was blocking some of the DBs from getting on their blocks. So I think that's where it helped. If he was doing it against zone, then it probably might not have worked as well. But they were playing man at that time. I think that's why it worked, and I think they saw that because if I'm not mistaken, they lined up, and I think that was one of the one of the times that Joe actually saw the coverage and knew what they were doing, and he changed the play up.
Agreed.
That's just what I saw.
I was just about to ask Eric a question. So honest.
Eric left. Ask Nate. Nate,
I'm going to ask you, man. What do you think are the 2 or 3 things we need to do next year we didn't do this year, as well?
Man,
or we didn't do them at all. What are
I would say definitely picked up our or clean up our wide receivers. We did good with what we had, but there's a few times. Okay, y'all mentioned Squirrel, right? White. Catch the ball and he'd run up the edge, and as soon as he'd get contact, it was like he was not all the time, but some of the times he was looking for the sideline. And I think if we could have a little more fight, I hate to say, like Brew would do, I think that would be a good thing to clean up. But also I absolutely love the fact of getting tight ends back in play. And if we could get the tight ends working more and consistent, not just here a little, I'm talking about consistent. I can see us move, and man, it can open up so much in the playbook. It can open the field up more. It can spread up everything. And then of course, obviously we're going to have the best of the best at quarterback. So I'm not worried about that end of, things. So
Boogie, did you just change your profile photo?
Absolutely.
He did. He's Sandy Boogie.
Any OG Talkin VAWLS fan knows that when I never said it on air. But when I was working for the man, the reason that I was always an emoji and not my face is because my work stuff was set up right beside me. So I would make videos. Shout out to my boss if you're listening. If you are, you're the reason I quit. You're the reason why I do this full time. Love you, mean it, not really. But I would make videos on the clock because I hated my job and I hated the people I worked for, and they screwed me over. So I made videos on the clock. So what are you going to do now? Fire me? So I would put up the old emoji and I would jump on and I would talk breaking news while they were paying me. So guess who got the last laugh? That's why you got the emoji for so long. But yeah, that's a throwback. The old Christmas boogie emoji.
You got it.
Let me catch up on super chat. What were you gonna say? Were you gonna laugh at the man? Is that beating the man? Is that
is that a yo-yo or a speaker? What is on?
Looks like a yo-yo.
Looks like is he a yo-yo champion?
Killer yo-yo.
Get him out here doing some yo-yo. All right, catch up on super chat.
I'm not a yo-yo champion. I was a competitive yo-yo player for a few years.
Whoa.
I'd like to get back into it, but ever since I kind of phased out of spending all my time doing it, like 8 hours a day doing it, I never really could get back into like practicing every single day. And
I love yo-yoing, man. I think it's fun. I'm sure I'm not as good as you.
Okay, we got to find an orange and white Tennessee yo-yo and send it to him.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Ron the Don, playing the guitar. We're gonna get Honest Steve playing with the yo-yo on air.
Hey, I'd love to do that. I hope it would render well over the stream. But
dude, there's a guy that used to support this channel ages ago, and then he kind of just faded off. But I still keep up with him on Instagram. Hopkins lacrosse fan, used to watch every live stream, every video. His son, I don't know how old he is, 6, 7, 8 years old. Yo-yo wizard. Like, it's ridiculous, the stuff that these people can do with a yo-yo. Let me catch up on Super Chats. Pan-seared ribeye for 2 says Nico is a 6'6" version of Bryce Young. Coach Rice for 2 says Russell got to be a troll that don't know football. Yeah, I'm still following that thread. Is he still here?
I think so. He's having fun at our expense. It's all right.
Like, he's not being too much, like, I don't know. As long as you keep it civil, I try not to ban people. But at some point, when the chat starts focusing more on him than they do the conversation, that's when I ban people. Tristan been a member for a month. Appreciate that support, brother. Timothy McGee for 5. Or put 3 running backs in, like right on right, small on the left. And put Samson in slot. Been saying this all year. Thank you, Timothy, for the super chat. J-Ball, been a member for a year, also drops a $2 super chat and says, is that good old JR in the stream tonight? My God, good God. Hellfire and brimstone. I love that, Nate. Man, Nate's got a personality. You rock a cowboy hat and you pull it off, and you do pull it off. You do that, you're a character. Like that's confidence, man. That's confidence.
Oh, yeah.
I was disappointed when you showed up on the tailgate show without it.
I know, man. I left it at home.
Can I call you JR? I'm so used to watching wrestling. I used to come up on the old JR and Jerry the King Lawler sitting there ringside. Can I call you JR?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You know,
That's fine.
actually, what needs to happen, Nate, you need to change your name to good old Nate Pruitt. Good, Goodol. Is it an apostrophe? You know, I made up words. What I say? Insuperior? Is that what I said last night? Insuperior. Although, you know, I got validated by that. Anyways, that's what you got to change it. Good old Nate Pruitt. I'll do it. Love that. Let's talk about perspective. Let's talk about, I said we were going to recap the year. We've not. We're an hour and a half in. My wife said, how long are you streaming? And I said, probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half. We go long. She said, bullcrap. She said, every time you do a fan call-in show and you get on with those guys, you stay live all night long. I'm like, I love it. It's one of my favorite nights of the week. Let's talk about perspective. Tom, you kick us off. Year 3 of the Josh Heupel era. What were you expecting? What did you get? And what do you think about the future?
Well, I expected a little bit different from what we got this year based on a couple of evaluation things and refusing to make a call because of tradition or fear of what might happen as far as the quarterback position. But the way we lost some of the games we lost, I know I had a little bit of an unpopular opinion before, but we lost a couple of games because flat out we had bad play calling and we had really bad situational awareness from coaches. Those are the two things. And the third thing I want changed for next year, other than being more aware of the time, how many timeouts you got. How many times did we have 3 timeouts with less than a minute left? And we didn't call timeout until 30 seconds or 25 seconds. And you just are so aggravated. You're like, man, you could have had 4 extra plays if you'd have used your timeouts right. And the
clock management.
Yeah, clock management, situational awareness as far as the coaches are concerned. I've made mistakes before that have cost my team a game. I felt god awful. And yeah, you got to learn from that. And Coach Hype's young. And he brought us out of the dark times, and he's leading us into, you know, the light and the good. And he's going to be something else to watch in the next few years. You get him a couple more classes, but the other thing is it's got to materialize in you got to be in shape and you got to hit in practice every day. That's the one thing. If even without the situational awareness stuff, if you could just hit and practice every day and get those guys game shape before the season even starts, and they're not huffing and puffing, sucking wind every few plays, that would be the best thing. It really would. That is a tonic that cures a lot of stuff, especially when you got a guy like Nico coming in to pick up at quarterback. I'm excited. I really am. I'm pissed off about this year, but I'm excited.
Fair.
I'm waiting on somebody to jump in, letting y'all take over.
Someone jump in.
Oh, I'll say it. Consistent play. That's what I want. I want some. I mean, the third year Josh Heupel, I mean, we knew it was going to take a little bit of a loss with Hendon gone, but we should just have some consistent play. It's the shoulda, wouldas, and the couldas.
Oh, yeah.
Should have been undefeated. Would have going to lose to Georgia and Alabama. And the other two between Florida and Missouri, I mean, we made some advancements, you know. I look at it this year. We was able to get some of the players who haven't had very many reps into the game. They got some game experience, and that can only work for us next year. But it's just, I mean, hey, 9-4, win the bowl game, it ain't too bad. But it's just that as Vol fans, man, we want to beat everybody. We want to beat the teams we should beat, and not even lose to the teams we should lose to. We got to overcome those hurdles. BBS is real, man. There's a medication out there called "Beat Everybody" that cures all BBS that we may have.
Yeah.
But that's I mean, it ain't bad. But I'm just so excited about the future because all the players who want to get out there and get them some reps, get them in the game, some game experience. Maybe those mature players or senior players that's coming back to kind of help drive that locker room. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it.
Isn't it fair to say that Missouri's better than we thought they were? And
definitely.
we should have beat Florida. And that summarizes the entire season. You lost to a Missouri team that's way better than everybody thought. And I need to go back. You talk about keeping receipts, Coach Jay. I need to go back to the Florida videos where I said that they're a horrible football team and we should have never lost to them. And they said, "Oh, you'll eat these words later." I should go back and respond to every one of those idiots while they're sitting at home during bowl season. Congrats to the Florida Gators. Congrats to South Carolina. Enjoy your vacation, because Tennessee's going bowling and we're still pissed off. We're not satisfied. We're still moving forward. I don't know why this just hit me. Ron, are you on Twitter?
No, sir.
Tom, are you on Twitter?
No, I never Twittered in my life.
Somebody specifically asked me this past week what your Twitter was, and I was like,
"Who, me?"
I don't. Yeah, and I was like, I don't know if Tom's. I was like, I don't know if he's on Twitter. All right, I was just curious.
I haven't even Facebooked in probably 10 years or so. I mean, this channel, Boogie, I saw a Talkin VAWLS network video about a year and some ago, and I started watching your videos, and this is the only social media I got.
You're living the better life. You're living a better life.
Yeah. Smart man. That's it. Smart man.
Yeah, but he is everywhere on YouTube. I guarantee it.
I am. I'm on every Talkin VAWLS, or not Talkin VAWLS, but every volunteer bit of media out there, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen him everywhere.
Dang, that Florida game still pissed me off.
Bob, you're on Twitter. What's your Twitter?
Bob King VFL.
Go follow Bob. Nate, are you on Twitter?
I am, but I don't even know what it is.
Maybe I'm wasting my time promoting on Twitter. Maybe this is a complete waste of time. All of you guys are not on Twitter, but you're here every single week. What about you, Honesty? Are you on Twitter?
Oh, I don't know it by that name, Boogie. I call it X.
I'm sorry. Are you on X? Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
Yeah. No,
he's a Gen X or a Gen Z.
Right. No, I know. In Elon Musk's case, it'd be anything to do with an X. He loves branding his stuff with X, SpaceX.
No, I mean, I'm on Twitter, but I'm with Nate. I don't even know it off the top of my head.
Oh, my gosh. I was going to follow all of you guys and promote you guys, but nobody uses Twitter except for me, Coach Jay, and Bob. That's it.
I use it sometimes.
And we're all connected anyway.
That's
hey,
all right.
We come here for the cool, crisp water of Tennessee Vols football, man. I mean, yeah, y'all can sparse out of them other spots, but this is where it's at. I'm gonna tell you this right now. First show I listened to was Coach Barnes when he benched some player, and I think it was Boogie and Indy was talking about it. It was a basketball, and I was like, man, what are these guys talking about? This is a real good conversation. And I've been dipping and dipping ever since then. Now since football hit off, man, there's no better place. I'm telling you.
I got to text Indy Kid and tell him that one of my favorite people in the Talkin VAWLS community is here because of his ignorant ass.
There you go. Would you guys?
Kid, he was a cool dude. I love the fall of the Vols and all that stuff that
he moved. He actually texted me the other day. I still keep in touch with. We're real. It's like Dauber. We're real life friends. He was moving and taking a new job, and he's like, man, I'm just out. I don't think he liked being on YouTube either because I've told you guys before. I feel like we're talking off air right now. People come at you, man. When you are a host of a channel, and I know you guys, your face is on here a lot, and if they could find you, you would probably get it the same way that Coach Jay has seen it. I mean, he's seen it. I get it. I get DMs on my personal Facebook account. I get DMs on Twitter. I get all the attacks in the world. It's like, man, I'm just a guy that loves Tennessee football and wants to talk about it. Like the video today. I got attacked multiple times today for putting out that video, and it's like, I thought it was something worth talking about. So I want to bring you what was there. Let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. No different than and I told a buddy of mine.
About the Dylan Samson video?
Well, hey, Boogie just sent it to me. I'll put him in the next cell.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Bury him under the gel, Bob. A buddy of mine from high school, even commented on the tweet. He's like, this is pure clickbait. And then he goes on to talk, and it's like, you're having a conversation. Like, if you come over to my house, and I told Coach Jay this before we went live. I said, if you came over to drink a beer tonight and you sat down, one of the first things you say is you see the stuff about Dylan Samson. We're going to talk about it. And that's what we do right here on this channel. So you want to call it clickbait? I don't care. I don't care. We're here to talk Tennessee football, news, rumors, speculation. That's what it's all about. That's what I'm going to keep doing, whether people like it or not. I don't care.
Speculation. What do you expect for next year, Boog?
I expect, man, what I say yesterday, Coach,
Perfection.
11-1. I'm taking them to a national championship.
Hey, that's cool.
Hey, yes, sir.
You know, realistically, you got what? You got Alabama and Florida in Neyland Stadium. I think those are both winnable, but those are toss-ups, right? Until you prove that you can beat Florida on the regular, that's a toss-up. And then you got to go on the road to Oklahoma. That's going to be a tough game. Like, when you look at the true number of toss-ups, gosh, 9-3, maybe again. But at the same time, the level of talent, quarterback play. If we had quarterback play this year, and I'm not saying that Nico's going to go be Hendon Hooker next year, but if Hendon Hooker was the quarterback this year and everything else was the same, how many games does this team win? 10? 11?
Probably.
Well, even if
Natty.
they didn't win that
Natty.
many, as many wins as we have right now,
Yeah.
with Nico having been the quarterback, I'd have been over the moon with that. Because as a true freshman coming in, yeah, absolutely. If we were 8-4, looking at 9-4 with a true freshman having started since week 3, yeah.
I mean,
Next
Yeah, even with next year's schedule,
Yeah,
I
but-
think
even sorry.
Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead,
even a school like NC State, like if we went on the road to play NC State and Charlotte as this year's team, you know, I don't really know. Like, I don't know for sure that we'd win. I mean, you never know for sure, but I don't know. I think we'd be predicted to, but they're not a bad team, you know.
no.
But with next year's team, hopefully we take a step up, especially on the offense, and I think we can probably handle that game. But like, again, if we don't change at all, even that game, I would say, you know, you could lose that, you know.
I think we're
Yeah, I
changed
think
big time next year.
Yeah,
Big
I think
time.
the
Hopefully.
only
Big.
I mean, really the only unforgivable game this year was Florida, right? Like,
No.
just you look back
I'm
at it
sorry.
and you're like,
Wait.
oh no,
Alabama.
All four of them.
You're saying
well,
Alabama?
yeah.
I was going to
Alabama.
say Missouri. I was going to say
Alabama,
Missouri, but not
We
the
had
Missouri
our
loss.
foot
The
on
way
their
you
jugular
lost.
on their home field. We had them by the short and curlies.
Yeah, we did.
We
Coach
did
J
not.
pissed everybody off.
Yeah,
just
we
now.
did not listen to Stonewall Jackson. We did not stay up on them and stay up and just that they
We
came
didn't
out.
capitalize in the red zone.
Yeah, and also the play calling was horrible. I know we had bad no calls, missed calls, horrible ref calls,
Lack of adjustments.
Misreads, everything.
halftime adjustments, right? Yeah.
You know, I would rather have lost a game like the Alabama game than the Missouri game, just because at least you put up a fight at some point. But I got to tell you, like, halftime at the Alabama game, I was so high. I was so
Oh, my
pumped. I was
gosh.
like, man, we're really, like, Joe Milton's really something. Like, we're actually doing this. And just to come from there to so low, oh, man, it was so disappointing, you know.
That was a
You
roller
don't even
coaster.
score once, you know. You don't even score once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just meant it because Florida was just so bad this year, guys. I mean, they were so
Awful.
bad. I mean, I listened to a little bit of their fan call-in show last night, and someone called in and said that he wanted to fire Billy Napier
I know.
into a sun full of red-hot HIV needles. That was his comment about Billy Napier.
Yeah,
Okay,
And I
that
was
took the
like-
cake. I talked
I was
about
like,
Wow.
man.
Well, I mean, I kind of want to do the same thing.
And in week 2, they were singing his praises.
Yeah, I
You
know.
they
Yeah, right.
ought to be happy with Billy Napier. They ought
Hold
to be.
on a second.
He's only in year
Somebody
2.
said last night that they commented on the post-game show and said, I didn't have domestic abuse being compared to Joe Milton on my bingo card. I guarantee you nobody had Billy Napier being shot into HIV needles on their bingo card tonight.
Jesus.
Only on the Talkin VAWLS network. Only right here. Let me hit these last couple of super chats. Timothy McGee for another 5 says, I want us next year to be multiple in offense, use your strength, slow down the offense for our defense, and speed it up on the goal line. That's right. Go Vols for 10. Can't wait for the Jackals. Put a new video so I can wish them a happy vacation. Got told by a South Carolina fan how lucky we were to play Vandy as a rival. Try Bama every single season. That's right. Go Vols. Yeah, I was thinking about that watching all the games right around the SEC. I mean, you're watching Ole Miss, Mississippi State, whatever the Egg Bowl is, what it is. But you're watching, Alabama and Auburn and Florida State and Florida and Clemson and South Carolina, I was like, man, we got Vanderbilt. That is the counter argument to that. We play Alabama every freaking year. It's just not on the last week of the season. How about that Alabama game? What a joke, man. I wasn't watching it live because we were watching the Tennessee game and then doing the post game, but I watched the SEC recap show. 0.01% chance they win that game. It's 4th and goal from the 31, and they score to win that game. Unbelievable.
Just talk about crapping the bed as a defensive coordinator for Auburn. And that was just really, really, really bad scheme out of them on that final play. Geez, man, I watched it a couple times, and there's just multiple things you can circle on that play that were problematic for Auburn. So those are the kind of things you need to drill in the offseason too, because you never know when you'll be in those situations. That's the kind of thing really, truly great coaches make sure they are drilling. Because, man, that was bad. It's part of the reason Billy's been so bad, right? We're just talking about it, all the mistakes they've had on special teams and all that kind of stuff, man. But yeah, Auburn, man, it kind of seems like Hugh Freeze has always had Saban's number, though, huh? He did it Ole Miss.
That way.
He did it Ole Miss, and he has an inferior team this year.
Wasn't he on his staff at one time?
That's crazy.
I think so.
I would have loved to see Auburn beat Alabama and Alabama beat Georgia. And I'm still pulling for Alabama to beat Georgia next week. I still am. We're going to do the watch party. I hope you guys, and I know everybody's at a different tier. We do the watch party enthusiast tier. It's the highest level. It was a way for you guys that give it that top tier to come hang out. So we're going to watch the SEC Championship next Saturday, 4 o'clock kickoff. We're going to be right here. Coach Jay, I drag him through the mud. I'm going to make him watch it. Maybe the X Factor will be here. I'll see if Dauber wants to jump on, and then everybody at that top tier gets to come on. It's exactly like this. It is shenanigans for the entire game, but we'll be watching that SEC Championship game, so I hope you guys will come hang out for that. Everybody's pulling for Alabama, right? All of us?
No, I will never.
Dude, what? Oh, my God. Hold on a second. Tom,
I will pull for
Alabama.
I'm only pulling for them because I want to see Georgia lose.
Yes.
What's better for Tennessee? But what's better for Tennessee?
Alabama win, and neither team make it to the college football playoff, right?
No, so what's better?
That's what I want.
Is if Georgia wins the SEC championship game, they go to their 3rd straight playoff or 4th straight playoff, and possibly to win their 3rd straight national championship, and then they lose in either the first round of the playoff or the championship game. Alabama going and beating Georgia just kind of muddles the whole. Everybody said the SEC was kind of having a down year type of thing. If Georgia makes it to the playoff undefeated, that makes the SEC look good again. All the hoopla.
That's my thing. Is I want the SEC to be the conference. It makes us look better.
No, honestly, you're so young. Let me educate you, young man. You're so young. Let me tell you something. Georgia winning football games is how they got to where they're at. Alabama winning football games got to piss on them all. I used to be that guy. Oh, SEC pride. I'd get on Facebook. Roll Tide. Never again. You'll never hear me say it again. I hope the stadium implodes. I hope the stadium implodes on Saturday. You heard it here first.
So how many years can Saban go without winning another title before? I don't think he'll ever be on the hot seat. Don't get me wrong; he's earned all the right to step out when he wants. But how long before Bama fans start itching a little bit and start side gazing a little bit? What do you think about that?
He'll retire before that.
He's written his own check.
Okay,
he can absolutely be there. He's not going to live another 30 years, but he could be there another 30 years. He really could.
When you watch their fan base, when he loses one game, they start questioning him. Always, it's big time.
It was full.
Yeah, so say Georgia just dismantles them, right? In the championship game. Say they beat him by 40, and then he struggles next year and doesn't find a freshman quarterback, and loses, let's say, 3 games. What kind of a environment is Bama at that moment in time?
Yeah, they'll stay with him.
I don't know.
They'll
I
stay
think
with him.
he's there till he retires. I think.
Yeah. I agree with that.
But in your scenario, in your scenario, Coach, I think he would, if that were to come to pass, he loses to Georgia and he loses 3 games next year. I think he will elect to retire so he doesn't face another year like that. I think he's smarter than that.
Right.
He might. Yeah.
How far is he from Bear Bryant's record, though? How far? It's not far.
Well,
Couple of
can tell
seasons?
you, in this modern era, he's not going to touch Bear Bryant, as far as my opinion, man, because that Bear Bryant, he had some tough dudes that would make these guys that play on these modern teams, they wouldn't be able to keep up with the old guys because they were in shape. They got their asses low. They would hit you every play. It wasn't, I'm here for the money. I'm here for the ring. I'm here for the hoopla, be on ESPN, get my name in the papers. Those old guys,
those guys,
slobber knockers. Yeah.
Yeah, they were there for the game. They were there to represent their school. They were there to knock heads. Period. I want to rip your head off.
Go ahead, finish.
No, I was just saying. I just want to rip their head off. Period. Cut and dry.
But Nick Saban's 43 wins away from Bear Bryant.
Oh,
You're talking about all-time legacy. I think Nick Saban's the greatest college football coach of all time. Period. But when you disagree, how in the world?
No, I just hate that you said it out loud.
It's the truth. I say it all the time, man. It's the truth.
Walter Camp. I'm holding out Walter Camp, man. Come on.
It's Nick Saban. He's the best of all time. Period. Hands down. Can't stand him.
I'm holding out for Josh Heupel. Okay, he's got some years to go, but Josh Heupel's the next greatest. So that's me.
I hope he stays here.
Some players, man. We need players.
What about Newt Rockney? No, I'm just kidding.
I hope he stays here.
I'm joking.
Who coached the program? Who coached the Wolves? What was his name?
The Wolves.
He was the dad on Elf.
Oh, I know. I can't think of his name. He's Sonny in The Godfather. What's his dang name?
Die? Didn't he die?
I can't think of the actor's name. No.
I didn't think so.
Sonny from The Godfather. Come on, yeah. Brian's song, the same actor. Crap.
I'm looking it up right now. James Caan.
Yeah.
James Caan. James Caan. Yeah.
Sam Winters. Coach Winters.
I see some people are saying that Saban's going to get Will Rogers in the chat, and I was under the understanding that he's going to Kentucky next year. I thought that was kind of a sewed up deal behind the scenes, but maybe I read that wrong. We'll see.
All right, let's get out the door here. We've been live almost 2 hours. I love these fan call-in shows. I could stay live all night long, and then my wife's going to be like, I told you, you idiot. That's right, go Vols. You got yo-yo tricks for us? Hold on, let me hit these super chats. We'll send them out. We'll send them out with yo-yo tricks. That's right, go Vols for 5 says, so upset about all the scoreless second halves. Reminded me of Butch Jones. Sometimes it was the worst part of the season. That's right, go Vols. Pecan for 5 says, season went as expected and can't wait till next year. GBO football season goes by way too fast. I want to remind you guys again, we're going to be covering recruiting, transfer portal, film breakdown, live recruiting shows. If you love this channel, you want this channel to keep thriving, consider hitting the join button down below. $1. We're approaching 24,000 subscribers. You love this channel, hit that join button, give $1, strengthen numbers. You guys keep this thing moving forward. Keep those memberships intact as we roll through the offseason because I need it. I need you guys. Otherwise, we're going back to working for the man. The Friday show is going to be canceled. The Monday show is going to be canceled. And I'll be sitting here looking like this saying, let's talk a little recruiting today, boys. You want to see what happened today? Let's keep this thing rolling. I need your support. We would greatly appreciate it. Hot Rod's been a member for 7 months. Thank you, Hot Rod. Every single person that's a member of this channel, I appreciate you. You guys, you do pay the light bill, and I appreciate that. So shout out Hot Rod. All right, Honesty, show us what you got, brother. Send us out with some tricks. What do we got? What do you got?
Well, hopefully the camera can show the frames. You know, I don't want it to be blurry, but let's see.
Oh, dang.
I ain't got that. Nobody had this on their bingo card either.
Ooh. Honest going Matrix on it.
Ron the Don, you're gonna have to hit somebody with your guitar next time.
Man.
Step it up.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You got that flare. Awesome.
Dude, I
That was
love it.
killer,
I
man.
love
You
it.
went Curly Neal on us.
The spin on the finger was next
There you
level.
go.
That's next level.
Badass.
I love it. I love
So
it.
that's
Everybody
not
on the Talking Balls Network has some talent.
Not professional.
I got my orange and white string too. I don't know if you can see
love
that.
it.
Hey,
I
there
love
you
it.
go.
You used
yeah.
to practice that 8 hours a day?
Yeah, I mean, so I kind of that was my problem is I didn't do it consistently. I'd go to a competition and then you kind of get on a high, and for like the next 2 weeks I'd be doing it like 8 to 10 hours a day. Man, you go through like a string a day, you know, and
Wow.
then after a little bit you fade out and you do it, you know, maybe 3 hours a day for a while, and then, you know, that's the thing. I could never keep up my momentum. I'd really love to get back into it and actually try and really put together a solid performance. So
It's I'm almost
Sound-
embarrassed because at least you
Sounds
were
like our defense this year.
you were
I was
chasing
about
you
to
were
say, sounds like
chasing something.
Tennessee.
You were chasing something. When I was in an online racing league, I would practice 6, 7, 8 hours a day. I mean, it was all day while I was off work. And then me and Snake were in it together. He would not practice the whole week. He would come in qualified. He would be in the main room and he was in the feature. And I'm like, dude, I've practiced for 40 hours this week and I'm in the middle of the pack. And I'm like, at least you're trying to go pro. You're trying to make something of yourself. All right. We're talking about yo-yos. We're talking about online racing. I love this community. I love you guys. I love everybody on this panel. So shout out to Coach Jay, Rocky Top Tom, Ron the Don, White Lightning. Bob's in his prison cell. Hopefully he gets released for work release tomorrow. He'll get to stretch his legs a little bit. Honesty, that was fun. I appreciate that. Nate Pruitt, good old Nate Pruitt. I love all you guys, man. This community is something else, man. You guys bring it. I thrive on this. If you can't tell, I love Sunday nights. So my wife's like, "Yeah, I'll see you in 4 hours, idiot. Go have fun." I love it, man. I love the community. I love everybody having a voice. That's what it's all about. But we're gonna wrap it up. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. I'm the master of the clickbait. Go Big Orange.
Go Big Orange.
How like me, poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we call home.